Alright, gang, it is May 1st, 2025, Thursday, and this is the kill list for Apple Valley and DEVORE. Yeah. What? Maybe all of them are at Apple. Let's take a look. Oh, maybe they are at Apple Valley. Okay. All right, let's take a look. So we got John and Darla. They are hanging on by a thread. They really need to get out. These are beautiful dogs. Look at those sparkling eyes. And we've got Capote, Elijah, Remus, Biggie, Tilly, Hugo, Shadow and Lulu, Samantha, Charlie, Crow, Thor, Skywalker, Fido, Miss Pippa, Puppy, Raleigh, Petunia, Socks, Polly, Dinah, Rose. You know, these bully breed pit mixes have really kind of grown on me. It was not a dog I was ever really interested in until you get to know them, and they're just they're very animated dogs. They have these just expressions that are just out of this world. I mean, all these dogs are out of this world, but you know, if you're looking at a picture of them, you're going to go to those ones, you know, because they're just so animated. But they're all these dogs are home run dogs. They're all just winners. And yeah, so that's the list for now. Let's take a look at the other day. I'm going to try and make this really fast so we can really get maximum exposure. So they killed Will, killed Stella and Hazel. Look at this chart. Look at this collage of photos. Look how many got out alive. You know, it's these people choose to kill. They don't have to. They choose to kill. You know, they don't really want to work with the networkers, etc., but they choose to kill. All these dogs could get out alive if they just relied on the networkers to do their job for them, which they already do. But we've got Mama Bell here, and we have Finley here that need to get, and where'd he go? Mama Drew also need to get out. And but I mean, you can see that right there. Look at that. This whole community comes together, and these dogs are safe. They're adopted, fostered, whatever. So it's really too bad they don't have somebody at this shelter and DEVORE and all the rest of them that just is like really committed to saving lives and promoting adoptions, fostering, etc. But they're not. You know, that's the problem. When you pay people too much money, they realize that they're just going to keep milking you and they don't have to do anything anymore, especially government jobs. I've worked a slew of government jobs, and it's always like that. You know, they know they can't get fired and that they can retaliate if they do get fired. So they're just not willing to work too hard, if they even do work. So, but anyway, there it is, gang. Let's take a look at some of the latest intakes. I got to try to make this really fast. So we've got Carly here. Yeah. Ugh, gang, you just can't believe the bad shit. And this is, did we just look at this? I'm just really tired. Let's look at it again. John, Darla, Hugo, Tilly, Biggie, Remus, Elijah, Capote, Thor, Crow, Charlie, Samantha, Lulu, Shadow, Socks, Petunia, Rowley, Miss Pippa, Fido, Skywalker, Polly, Dinah, Rose. All these guys need to get out. God, I could have sworn I had just done that. I must really be tired. I hate to say it, but sometimes they all look like the same, you know? But they're not. They're all individuals. Like, look at those guys. They've got almost Airedale colors, you know? Okay, let's look at some of the latest dogs that showed up. To me, this looks like a sheepdog that's miniaturized. Poodle toy. Isn't that a wonderful dog? Chipotle. Okay, and then we've got Evangeline. This is a really cool looking little dog. And we've got Soraka. Wonderful dog. Yeah, you know, the thing is these guys could have gotten homes. They could have gotten homes, and the shelter could have got their, 100, 150 bucks, whatever it is, per dog. Here's Garth, rescue only. Whenever somebody tells you that the dog is hostile or snappy or whatever, all that bullshit, that is a location behavior. When these dogs are acclimated to being around a family and a stable environment, they don't behave like this. I have fostered some dogs that would literally cut your throat, and after hanging out with me, that aggressiveness is subsided, if you want to call it that. It's just a response to the shelter environment. So, but that's not really who that dog is. Okay, here's another big page. Here's Panda. Look at that. Looks like a Doberman Pinscher. Some people really like these dogs. They look like wonderful dogs. Here's Boone, a baby. Oh, he's down at DEVORE now. Okay, he's 4 years old. Here's Maddox. Here's Macchiato. And came in with this dog, Espresso. Look at it. There I go again. Animated features. He's smiling and happy. Look at that. It's got that big smile going. How could you not want to go and adopt him? And here's 3 little puppies. We've got to get them out of here before the parvo or the distemper kills them. It's really a big, Lewis, it's really a big deal if you work in a shelter or you foster dogs or you're a homeowner and you have dogs. You've got to keep their kennels or, their food bowls. Everything has to be immaculate. Everything has to be clean because they're using those paws to touch the ground. They don't have shoes, and that's how they bring the bugs in, the parvo and all that other crap. So they have to have a clean environment. This skin feature, easily treated. I've seen dogs, the whole body is like that, and they get treated with the Demodex or whatever it is, and man, they look fantastic. Found together in Lucerne. Here's Lizzo, Dax, Beyonce, and Bruce. Look at that mouth. That's too funny. Here's Sia. Here's Dorinda. Here's Daisy. Here's Buster. Here's Billy. Colin. Alright, gang, let's just do that for right now. And let's look at over here at the Instagram. A lot of San Bernardino dogs on Chandler over here, like this guy here. Let's see if it'll work. Yeah, actually, where's this guy? This guy's at Palmdale, Lancaster. The page on Facebook, Palmdale, Lancaster. That these nice people work so hard to promote these dogs. And those kind of people are the salt of the earth, Yeah, so just come on over to this page, the Instagram, and there is a lot of the other shelters that don't get a lot of promotion. There's 666 Blondie. Go over there and you can see these dogs. Friends of Corona, and there's a lot more than just this guy. All right, that's 9 minutes, almost 10. I better just cut it there. But if you'll go to these pages that I'm promoting, you'll see all the other creatures Just the dogs. I can't do the cats. It's just too damn many. Somebody needs to step up and do that. Merino Valley, Roswell dogs, urgent dogs at Roswell. Yeah, God, it's overwhelming. Let's see. Let's do one more here. This one is at Corona on Magnolia. Look at that. That's a beautiful dog. And if you'll go to that page, you'll see all the other dogs and cats that would like to have a home too. Yeah, these aren't factory suck-ins or, behavior issue dogs. These are just perfectly good home run dogs. So I hope you'll get involved. We really need your help. We'll catch you on the next YouTube.